In this video, we're exploring the best open-world games on Nintendo Switch, perfect for gamers who love adventure and freedom. Remember, this is just our take, so if we missed one of your favorites, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your recommendations. Bakaru, a colorful 3D platformer with beat-em-up elements, developed by Goodfeel. Originally exclusive to Japan, Bakaru follows the hero Bakaru as he battles demonic forces. The gameplay combines fast-paced combat with platforming, where you use drumsticks to fight enemies and search for rainbow lamps to move forward. The levels are filled with collectibles, mini-games, and vibrant environments that keep things exciting, though the frame rate may dip below 60 FPS occasionally. The game is in Japanese, but its gameplay-first approach makes it accessible to all players. The English release improves on the original with new moves, more difficult gameplay, and quality-of-life updates. While it's on the easier side, the charming characters, satisfying transformations, and engaging action make Bakaru a fun and delightful experience for platformer fans, especially those looking for something lighthearted and colorful. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition is a great way to play this classic game again. You control Jade, a photojournalist who gets involved in a political conflict with her friend Paige. The game is set in a semi-open world where you can do combat, stealth, and take photos. The game has a unique art style, great music, and fun characters. One cool thing is the way the game shows information, which feels natural and part of the world. However, the combat can feel a bit stiff, and it's not always easy to figure out where to go because there's not much guidance. Still, for fans of the original game, this edition is a nice trip down memory lane. It also comes with extra behind-the-scenes content. The game works well on modern platforms with options for better performance and resolution. But the loading screens between areas can break the flow a bit. In short, it's a great game for fans, but it might not attract many new players. Biomutant is an action RPG set in a world after a big disaster. You play as an orphan in a colorful world full of mutated animals and different tribes. The main story is about hunting big creatures called World Eaters that are destroying the World Tree, and you get to choose whether to save or destroy the world. There are many side quests, but they often give rewards that feel like random loot, which can make them less exciting. The game lets you explore an open world and fight using both melee and ranged combat. You can also customize your weapons and armor. While ranged weapons like dual pistols are fun, the melee combat isn't as good because the knockback mechanics don't feel right. Biomutant is a creative RPG with some flaws. It might not be for everyone, but it's a fun experience for players who want something different in an open-world game. Europa is a visually stunning puzzle platformer set on Jupiter's moon, transformed into a lush green world. You play as Z, a child uncovering the mysteries of a failed human colony and its conflict with robotic gardeners. The game's Studio Ghibli-inspired visuals and intriguing story make it a treat to explore, and it's a short adventure that lasts around 3 hours. The gameplay involves jumping, gliding, and levitating, creating exciting moments, especially during gliding sequences. However, the controls can feel clunky, and the camera doesn't always work well, making movement frustrating at times. Puzzles are simple and relaxing but lack challenge, while the combat in the later stages feels too hard and disrupts the game's calm tone. Europa also limits exploration, keeping players on a set path. Despite its flaws, Europa's beautiful world and strong story make it worth experiencing for fans of narrative-driven games. Little Kitty. Big City is a cozy and fun game, perfect for anyone who loves cats. You play as a cute black cat that falls out of its apartment window and ends up in a small, charming city. Instead of a big, serious story, the game focuses on exploration and small, fun tasks. You'll help animals, collect hats, and enjoy lots of lighthearted side quests. The city looks great, and the animations make the cat feel very real. You'll love watching it run, jump, and play. However, the jumping controls can feel a bit clunky, and the camera doesn't always work smoothly, which can be annoying. The main story doesn't take long to finish, but the game's relaxing vibe, simple humor, and cozy world make it worth playing. It's a fun and chill way to spend an afternoon exploring as a cat. Broken Roads is an RPG set in a post-apocalyptic version of Australia. The game features a morality system that's based on philosophical principles, adding some depth to your choices. You also get classic turn-based combat. It sounds pretty interesting, right? Well, the game does have potential, but it doesn't quite live up to it. The story is one of its weakest points. It feels shallow, with characters that don't really stand out and the plot doesn't feel connected. The choices you make in the game don't have much impact, which makes the deep morality system feel underused. The quests mostly end up being repetitive fetch tasks, and the combat can get frustrating. The UI is a bit clunky, and the encounters can feel tiresome. There's a lot of atmosphere in the game, and the writing is detailed, but overall Broken Roads feels unfinished and doesn't fully deliver on its ambitious ideas. Cat Quest III is a fun and fast-paced RPG that takes you on a high-seas pirate adventure. The game stands out with beautiful water graphics and well-designed islands. The gameplay is solid, with a loop that keeps you exploring, battling enemies, and uncovering secrets. The transitions between islands are quick, and the pace of the game feels engaging without slowing down. While side quests are rare, they're all unique and reward you with great loot. Ship upgrades also add some depth to the game. However, the main story and certain characters like Captain Cappy could use more depth and charm. Combat can feel a bit unbalanced at times, especially with certain equipment. Despite these flaws, Cat Quest III still offers a satisfying experience with thrilling combat, unique side villains, and clever RPG mechanics. It's a fun adventure that's definitely worth checking out. One Piece Odyssey is a fun game for One Piece fans. It mixes the action of One Piece with classic, turn-based RPG gameplay. The story takes place after the Dressrosa arc, where the Straw Hat crew explores a new island called Wayford. They also visit important moments from their past in a place called Memoria. The story introduces new characters like Lim and Adio, and has some emotional moments that fans will love. The turn-based combat is cool, with the crew's famous moves looking great, but it's not very hard. The difficulty feels unbalanced, and you get too many rewards too easily. The game also has dungeons that you explore using each character's special skills, but these don't feel important enough. Some parts of the game, like Alabasta, have too much backtracking and boring quests, which can slow things down. Even with these issues, the game's great story, good writing, and the beautiful One Piece art style make it a fun experience for fans. If you love One Piece, you'll enjoy this game, but don't expect a big challenge. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom is one of the best open-world games on the Nintendo Switch. In this game, you play as Zelda, which makes the story feel more personal as she tries to close mysterious rifts in Hyrule. The game adds a unique echo summoning mechanic, allowing you to bring back defeated enemies and objects to solve puzzles. This feature combines the classic Zelda dungeon crawling with the open-world freedom seen in Tears of the Kingdom. The puzzles and exploration are fun, but the combat can feel slower and less satisfying compared to previous Zelda games. The world design takes inspiration from older Zelda titles and Breath of the Wild, offering a mix of nostalgia and new ideas. There are also side quests, collectibles, and mini-dungeons to explore. While the combat and menu management could be better, Echoes of Wisdom successfully blends old and new Zelda elements, showing a promising direction for the future. Xuanyuan Sword 7 is a great action RPG. The game's art and smooth combat make it fun to play. It tells a unique Chinese story about a brother and sister trying to save her, with the help of an entombed god. The game also introduces Mohism, an old Chinese philosophy, which makes the story more interesting. The game is mostly linear with no side quests, but the main story is exciting. There are also mini-games to enjoy along the way. The combat is easy to pick up, but the beautiful world and deep story make it special. Even though the Switch version isn't as technical, Xuanyuan Sword 7 is still one of the best action RPGs on the platform. Outward Definitive Edition is an open-world survival game, but it has some big problems. The combat is awkward, with controls that feel loose and make fighting harder than it should be. The game also doesn't have much depth when it comes to strategy. The Switch version of the game doesn't look great either. The graphics are poor, with faraway views losing detail, and the character animations are stiff. It looks worse when you play it than in pictures. If you were hoping for something like Dragon's Dogma 2, Outward doesn't live up to it. Both games are similar, but Outward doesn't have the same exciting world or interesting story. Even though Outward has some potential, its problems make it less appealing, especially if you're used to better RPGs. Snufkin. Melody of Moomin Valley is a cozy adventure game set in the Moomin world. You play as Snufkin, a traveler who returns to Moomin Valley and finds that it's being controlled by strict park rule. Snufkin's goal is to find his friend Moomin Troll and bring back the valley's natural beauty by stopping the park keeper. The game has beautiful watercolor-style visuals. As Snufkin, you explore the valley, solve easy puzzles, and use musical instruments to interact with the world, like making animals appear or moving objects. You collect inspiration to unlock new abilities that help you with different challenges. This game is relaxing and family-friendly. It's perfect for people who like short, cozy adventures, but it's especially fun for those who know the Moomins. While it doesn't use all of its ideas, it's still a charming experience that lasts about 1 to 5 hours. Sword Art Online. Fractured Daydream is a game for fans of the anime. It has about 30 hours of playtime, a good story, and 21 characters you can play as, each with their own special skills and voice acting. The best part of the game is the multiplayer modes like co-op quests, free roam, and boss raids. But the multiplayer can be a problem. Since there aren't always enough players, you may have to switch servers or play with bots. The game has a lot of grinding to level up and collect items, which can be fun at first, but gets boring after you finish the main story. One downside is the microtransactions and DLC that are locked, which some players might not like. Still, if you're a Sword Art Online fan, there's enough here to keep you entertained for a while. Wildlands has an open world with different environments and crafting, but it has some big problems. The graphics are low quality and the combat isn't exciting. The game runs poorly with slow frame rates and textures that load slowly. You can enjoy a relaxed adventure with lots to do, like building ships, befriending animals, diving, fighting enemies, and exploring stunning low-poly world. Wildlands promises an exciting journey, starting in a mysterious cave with challenges like spikes to overcome. The gameplay gets boring fast because you have to do the same tasks, like gathering the same materials over and over. The ship, which you'd think is important for exploring, isn't needed because you can just teleport. The controls feel heavy and hard to use, making it tiring to move around. If you want a good open-world game, this one might not be the best choice. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our list of the best open-world games on Nintendo Switch. If we missed any of your favorites, feel free to share them in the comments. We'd love to know your picks. See you next time.